What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I'm feeling good. Yeah, life is always good. Uh, you know, just trying to enjoy it as much as I can while I'm here. You know, it's a new year and people were talking about, you know, New Year's resolutions, maybe not so much anymore, but people were trying to go out and capitalize on the things that they said that they were going to do this year. You know, it's a new year. Um, I said before in the podcast that I personally don't do New Year's resolutions because, why? You can do anything that you want to do at any time. You don't have to wait for a certain moment, a certain calendar day on each year. But I'm always trying to improve myself every day and be better. You know, I've been training more jujitsu recently, except for the last couple of weeks. We've had a couple of issues where I haven't been able to train. Snow days and wrestling is going on and sickness. So been taking a lot of precautions to try not to be around people when we're feeling sick or anyone in the house is sick. But along with that, just feeling good and training more, I started to just this last week go back to the chiropractor. Before I was with Awaken Chiropractic, I hadn't gone for a while because they're not really close to where I live. Before, when I was working in office, it was convenient because I could just hit them up on the way home. But I'm not out that way anymore. So it was just a thing where I said, you know what, man, it takes an hour just to get there and back, not to mention the time that I have to actually be there and wait if it's busy or whatnot. So I still love Awaken Chiropractic. Dr. Gabriel and Maggie and them, everybody was always super nice. So if you're out in that area, check out Awaken Chiropractic. I just stopped going to the chiropractor altogether. And then my wife, when I was actually talking to her about possibly not going to the chiropractor anymore, she goes to La Vista Chiropractic, and she had been trying to get me to sign up there. And I was like, oh, I'm cool for now. I'm all right. I'm all right. But again, I'm training more and I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my body. I've been dealing with a shoulder thing recently, the last few months. I got bigger shoulders, so sometimes certain shoulder locks impact me in a certain way. And, it's really uncomfortable when I have my hands up above my head and stuff. People are trying to go for shoulder locks or whatever. And actually, it initially happened just in training in class. And we were just doing drills and, we were, for those who know the positioning, we were practicing head and arm choke attempts, but then we were going up for the defense, which is, talking on the phone. And then we were doing another move, which is pretty much an Americana off of that defense. So I didn't feel it too much during class, but I knew it was tight, but it was just really uncomfortable. And after class, it started bugging me, and I was just dealing with it for a while. I was like, whatever. But then it started to pop, and sometimes I wouldn't even be moving necessarily, and it would pop. And sometimes there was no pain, and then sometimes the pain was just like, oh God, I need a minute. And I don't know what was going on. It was just weird and random, but I could still train, no problem. That wasn't an issue at all. So I started talking to my wife again about going back to the chiropractor, and finally I did it. She was staying on me about it. She was like, are you gonna, you know how the fellas are sometimes. We don't, when it's like a doctor's appointment or something like that, maybe we're not always on top of being proactive and doing that. So she was staying on top of me, and she said, you want me to make you an appointment? And I'm like, no, I don't need you to make me an appointment. And then it started happening where I was just like, ooh, It doesn't bug me as much, but it's still popping. And, randomly I would get that pain, and it would just be in my whole arm and like not down to my fingertips. That's one of the things that they asked, but I didn't feel it in my fingertips, but I would just feel it all on my shoulder and like in my arm. So finally I said, you know what, go ahead and make me an appointment, because she was going in for her appointment. So I said, go ahead, schedule an appointment for me. So I went a couple of times during the week. A good experience. So if you're in the La Vista area, you're looking for a chiropractor, maybe check those guys out. They seem really nice. I know my wife has raved about them in the past. So I believe that they're doing good things there. Take care of your body, whatever it is, whether you're eating right, you're trying to be more fit, whatever it is, do things that keep your body and your mind sharp. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure that my body is in the right place to, and not even just perform, but just walk around without pain. And yes, I started going because of pain, but of course, as the chiropractor, they find out different things about your posture and whatnot, especially with everyone in their mobile devices and, cell phones in there, always looking down, that does bad things to your neck and your spine. So you want to try to maintain that upright posture as much as possible to keep things in line. We're not going to go too far into that, but yeah, shout out to La Vista Chiropractic. Again, check them out if you're in the area and you're looking for a chiropractor. And these are not like paid sponsorships or anything like that. I'm just telling you about my life and my experience right now. I'll tell you if I'm ever having a sponsored ad out there. So another thing that I did was Matt Showalter, one of the guys who goes to the dojo and trains. I said it before, say it again. One of my favorite training partners because he's a bigger guy. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background. I've never tapped this guy, and it's wonderful to go against him because it's just nice to go against a strong guy who makes me move and puts me into dangerous situations all the time. So he keeps me fighting. He takes it easy. I know he does. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite training partners. He owns a nutrition store out in Bellevue called Absolute Nutrition. So we stopped out there. I took my daughter because I thought it would be a good idea for her because she had been trying to maintain weight and like put on some extra poundage. And she doesn't have a lot of time to get in a lot of extra weightlifting because, she's going to school and she's going to wrestling practice and duels and tournaments and all this. So she's always tired anyway. But when she has days off, we try to get her into, hey, go downstairs and do some squats and push-ups or whatever else, just something to get moving on your days off where you can maybe help, put on a little muscle and just be active. But for myself, well, we got her some protein bars. I got her a meal replacement bar. I don't think she really needs a meal replacement bar because she eats well, but just want to try it out and see if she likes it, just in case there's ever that emergency situation where she can't get a meal for some reason. Check out the meal replacement bar, but just got the protein bars for after practice, 15 minutes after, 10 minutes after practice, grub on that, and that'll help in, that rebuilding and recovery and that promoting muscle growth and all that jazz. But for myself, since I'm old and I just want to, I want to work on my joints. As I said, my shoulder has been bugging me. So I got some fish oil. Yes, a big old tub of fish oil. And then I also got, and this is NutraBio, essential fatty acids. I used to take supplements back in the day, fish oil, a multivitamin, but I just hadn't been taking any supplements at all for the last, I don't know how many years. But this stuff, number one, I wanted to support Matt and his business because, I'm all about supporting local. but I also wanted to get some information from someone who I trust as a nutritionist, and I know is just not trying to sell me on whatever. So got that. And then, I'm 40 now, man. So I need something for my joints sometimes. Going to these wrestling tournaments, sitting on these benches for hours upon hours. Sometimes my knees are like, hey, man, so I got this joint relief. He told me that this is really good for the winter. So we'll see. I've only taken this one time. I skipped yesterday because we were at the tournament all day. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it helps me feel a little better. It's M Nutrition by Max. Oh, Max, this is Max Muscle. But yeah, those are just a couple of things that I'm doing. And again, it's not a New Year's resolution. I just have been feeling a certain way, and I want to make sure that I'm optimizing my performance and my output when I'm training. So those are some things that I wanted to start with. We'll see if I go to anything else. I'm not lifting a lot of weights these days, so I don't know if I really am interested in taking any protein or whatever. I feel okay right now. We'll start here and see where it goes from there, and I'll talk to Matt a little bit more. And, I'm going to be getting back into, I've been slacking, guys. I haven't talked about the weight loss journey, just with the sickness that's been happening and, not having a ton of time recently. I haven't been able to, well, I have been able to, but mentally I haven't done the things that I need to do. Like when I'm missing workouts, I haven't got in as many home workouts as I should. So I've not really had any progress recently, but I'll keep you guys posted, because now that I hope to get back into things, now that the sickness has passed, because it's been going on all month so far, pretty much, interruptions to my normal schedule. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out and train more. And wrestling season's coming to an end next month, so that won't be an issue. I'll get back to training 4 to 5, 6 days a week, however much. So yeah, those are just a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Also, I'm always appreciative to you guys who are listening on, the audio side, and then to the people who are watching the YouTube posts for the What's Up Omaha podcast. You guys are amazing. I shared it over the last couple of weeks. The What's Up Omaha podcast was featured in the Omaha Magazine. So thank you to the Omaha Magazine. I appreciate you guys so much. I shared the link previously, I believe, with someone that I went to high school with. Jessica, thank you. She had a physical magazine, and she shared the photo of my part of the article on my post on Facebook. So that was cool. I'll share that. You'll be able to see that here. Pause for a second so you can see that. Cool. But yeah, that was really cool, man. And I hope to gain some following from that, and just continue to grow the podcast. That's what's always been the goal for me and What's Up Omaha. And, Small Guy Promotions is behind What's Up Omaha. There's different things that Small Guy Promotions does. Again, I don't do a lot of I'm not doing events right now. So the social thing is kind of what I'm doing. And always, regardless of if I'm putting on events or not, the podcast is always a certainty. Every Sunday it will post. It may not always post at 11 a.m. like I want to, but it will always post on Sundays unless something changes. But thank you guys again so much for the support. And it's just really cool to see myself in a magazine, man, and to just know that things are going well and everything is momentum, like I've talked about before. So I'm going to keep doing this stuff, keep creating. And I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thank you again so much. Last thing, man, nothing major, but just a couple of things that I witnessed, with youth. Parents, please teach your kids about cleaning up after themselves. It's one thing if they don't do it at home, but out in public, if you're making messes and leaving it for other people, that's not cool. Coming from a family where my mom and dad were custodians, my dad, before he passed, they were supervisors for a small company, and they had done it for years. I've always been I've tried to be aware when I'm out and about making messes and cleaning up my messes and not leaving them for other people, because I know the stuff that my parents had to go through to clean for lazy people who just leave trash. And yesterday I saw two separate kids, two separate instances. So one kid had a bag of popcorn, and I mean, he wasn't too old, but he was old enough. He was at least like probably 12, 13, but dropped a whole bag of popcorn. And I understand that why he didn't pick up every kernel of popcorn, but he could have picked up the bag. He was upset with his sister, it seemed, and he just walked off and just left it all on the floor. And I'm like, word? And the people who served the popcorn, they were nice enough to replace the bag for him. So I went and, caught up to him and said, hey, hold up, man. They're going to get you a new bag of popcorn. But I was still thinking, like, you could at least picked up that bag. You know what I'm saying? And then later, like, I saw a young lady eating some Pringles, and my daughter and I had just got done eating. So we were headed over to the trash can to throw our stuff away. And this girl is walking by and she drops a pink Pringle and she just leaves it on the floor and just walks off. Like, she knows she did it. She looked down at it, but she just left it there. Oh, somebody else will clean it up. And I'm just thinking, like, man, I hope my kids never do that. Like, I try to teach them, like, and I know you can only do so much with your kids and teach them so much, and you can't be there at all moments. But it's the little things like that that just make me think, like, if you're not going to clean that up, like, what other kind of just crappy stuff are you doing, man? And then you get these adults, you see how adults treat people, and they don't care about stuff, like these wrestling tournaments that we go to. It's so crazy to me that all these people, they go and get concessions, and then they sit down and then they leave their trash like there. And I know the custodial staff at some point has to come through, but the kids who are wrestling, I know when we have a duel or whatever at our high school, the athletes have to go in the stands and clean afterwards. So please maybe think about that a little bit. Like, please be responsible for the trash that you create. It doesn't take but a second to pick up a trash item that you've had and put it in the trash can or recycle bin or whatever. That's just mind-boggling to me that people can't do that. Like, grown adults, again, it's one thing with the kids, man, but grown adults, you left a mess. Clean up your mess, bro. The world is not here for you. They're not here to clean up after you. And I get that when it's a custodial person, a janitor, whatever, that's their job. But it doesn't take much to not be an a-hole. That's my thought on it. And I don't care. Like, in some instances, yeah, you may forget, but a lot of times, you had trash, man. It doesn't take much energy or effort for you to pick up your trash and throw it away. But that type of thing, I know it's trash, but that sort of thing makes me think, like, oh man, that's just a look into how people are, how self-absorbed. And I talk about how self-absorbed people are, and it's all about me, and not thinking about other people. That's one thing that definitely trips my trigger a little bit, is like, man, what are people teaching the youth, and people are growing up just to be like, I don't care. I'm going to leave my trash for the peasants to clean up. Like, that's not cool, bro. That's totally not cool. And that's all. I'm gonna get off of that topic because I don't want to spend a bunch of time talking about that. But just observations, my friends and I, back in the day, when I was a teenager, we were people watchers. So we would go down to the old market and we would just, sit down there and chill and like watch people, just observe. So that's still what I do sometimes. I watch people, and I'm just sometimes surprised by the things that people do, and I just don't understand it. But whatever, that's a me thing. That's all I got today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to the What's Up Omaha podcast. I love and appreciate you so much. I hope you are entertained. Are you not entertained? But yeah, shout out to 10 Planet, keeping me active, because if I didn't have jiu-jitsu, it'd be so tough for me to get in home workouts. Shout out to Matt and Absolute Nutrition. I appreciate you. Thank you to the Omaha Magazine for even asking me to be a part of your January issue of the Omaha Mag. Like that's big to me. And, it just proves that I'm doing something right. Again, I just look for the little signs of things that are telling me that I'm doing something right. And I'm going to keep trying to do these things. So appreciate all the support. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. If you are listening and you enjoy the podcast, that would help a lot. And hey, if you happen to want to share it, that helps as well. I appreciate everything that you guys do for Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fatty. So with that, I'll end it here. Again, have a beautiful day. Smile, help someone else smile. Laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Yeah, get your body right, baby. Yeah. Peace out.